Hey everybody, it's Professor Hall, and I thought we would take a little bit of time and go over this syllabus so that you have a clear understanding of exactly what's expected of you throughout the semester. And there's a little picture of me and information about that. Let me go back here and stop on this just real quick. Remember, when you email me, there's another instructor on campus with my same name. So it's important that you email me correctly. Go ahead and, you can go straight here to mail me from there or from the classroom. But make sure that we get it to the right place. It's a continuing thing for us that we get each other's mail. So down here is a box that says students need to demonstrate some basic writing skills before taking the course. And so we're going to be looking over these prerequisite skills here in just a second. Here's the basic overview of the course. We have fun people, you, and in the course, taking the course materials and assignments. And there's the online writing lab component, which is designed to continue improving your writing skills. And believe me, everybody needs improvement with writing skills. I do, everybody does. There are a total of 9 modules, and those modules contain assignment information. And then below that you see this chart that shows when things are due. I think it's a great idea to print this out and keep it by your calendar. Find some way to keep it in your phone or on your calendar is better. You're going to need a computer for this course. You can't do the whole thing from the phone. I had a student try, and oh my gosh, they turned in a document that they tried to write on their phone, and the format, oh gosh, it was a mess. So you do need a computer to complete the assignments, but you can access some things through your phone too. So you'll find that balance. A failure to submit any documents results in a 3-point deduction from your final total grade. So let's say the whole semester is over and you've earned a 82 and the whole semester is over. I look over your grading chart and I see that you didn't turn in a discussion board, you didn't reply to one of the announcement prompts that are sent. There aren't that many and they're so fun. Or you didn't respond, you didn't submit a test or something like that. On top of whatever the grade was, you will lose 3 points from your final grade. So you just went from an 82, which is a B, to a 79, which is a C. Now, that goes the other way too. The end of the semester comes, I look at your final grade and I look over everything and I see you tried everything. I can see under your name that you studied the course materials because there's a time stamp on everything you study in the course. I see that you turned in everything and made an effort to do all the exercises in the course. You answered every single one of the little announcement board prompts that came up, participated in the discussion boards, and let's say you have a 79 as your final average, but you did everything in the course. Then I'm going to add 3 points to you, and that's going to make your grade an 82, and that's a B. So the completion works both ways. I always saying, you've heard me say it before, anything is better than a 0. Making an effort counts for me, and I know that it counts for you too. Here is the breakdown. You understand that when you write a paragraph in OWL, the online writing lab, that isn't as weighted as the big essay that you write that's worth 30% of your grade. You can see that. So everything is weighted. That means if you look at your total or try to figure out what your grade is, it's going to be very difficult, and Canvas does a wonderful job of updating that on a daily basis. So your grade is going to be entered into your grade center and shown to you based on the weight of that grade. And here are those weights, and you can go back and study those when you have time to look through the syllabus. The originality report and this plagiarism I'm going to stop on for just a second. Here's the really super good news. The originality report is submitted through Turnitin, and if I see a high percentage on that, and I'll let you know in exercises what the percentage should be, because you do need to quote sources. You do need to indicate where your ideas originated. And I review those and make sure that it shows me where you were, what the timestamp was, what the URL was, everything about that. So I'll be able to check that out. Under plagiarism, use of another person's wording requires quotation marks and proper citation in a written presentation, and I have a PDF that shows you how to do that. Attribution is not required for common knowledge. So in other words, if you write, people need air to breathe, I'll give you that one. You don't need to cite a source that told you that people need air to breathe. So those are some common things. However, someone's ideas, someone's opinion needs to be quoted to that person. You also have information about plagiarism and how to properly cite information so that you don't have to deal with plagiarism. And understand and remember that not knowing and saying I didn't know it was plagiarism is not considered a sufficient excuse for committing plagiarism. The process of here from reporting that to the dean is over here. Here's the wonderful news. I've only had to do that once. Isn't that fantastic? I've had hundreds and hundreds of students, and only one time did somebody blatantly plagiarize an essay. So be careful. Watch out for that. And make sure, I always say, when in doubt, I will cite it. I'd rather oversight than undercite. Now, overdue penalties. You're allowed one late submission. That cannot be the submission that is the exam. That's not fair. You can understand that. And it can't be the final essay, because that final essay, I've given you up until the very last day to do that, and it takes me a long time to grade those and make sure that they're given their full attention. So please make sure that if you do submit one late assignment, you don't try to submit those. Discussion boards are intended to provide students with a place to discuss topics. That's your student lounge. Now, I have taken courses myself where there was a discussion board every week and you just went in and typed something, and that is one way, and it's a valid way, and if any instructor that wants to do discussion boards that way, I think that's fine. My goal, however, is for discussion boards to be ongoing and based on relationships that you create throughout the course. And so when I have a board, I intend for students to go in and actually write their thoughts, write their ideas, and communicate. And that, for that reason, I don't have very many discussion boards. And so the ones that I do have are very important. I've had 100% success with these discussion boards, so I know you'll keep that going. And I've never had a student have a problem with anything that was not proper in a discussion board, but do read over these sorts of do's and don'ts. There's a tutorial in the class about it also. But just remember, you're talking to little people. And so when you write something to a person, I do want you to give constructive ideas about how improvements could be made, but do so in a classy way. And remember that you're talking to people. And so that's it on the discussion boards. The disability statement is in your student handbook and is also here, so you can take over on that. Here are my suggestions for the very first thing to do. Mark your calendar every Monday of the course so you can be sure you log in. If I don't see, when I go to my class, I can see when you were there, what you were doing, what you were studying, and that helps me see your participation in the class. If you are not logged in and you haven't been in the class and turning things in, and 2 weeks have passed, then you're going to be dropped from the course. So it's important. I have cute little notifiers on my phone. I don't know if you do, but I can put all kinds of different notifications and remind myself. Of course, I think you should be logging into the course just about every day throughout the semester, but that's me. So that's what I would do if I was taking the class. Now, these are the prerequisite skills. This is a skill set that contains items that you are already supposed to have learned in English 1B or in any other courses that you've taken at any other school, English 101 or whatever it was called. and then you transfer it over to this school and are in this class. So this is what you need to be able to do. And let me hit the high points on this so I don't take a lot of time. You can look these over in your time, but remember that one of the key elements of writing that you are to already know is how to develop a thesis. Now, some people go, oh my gosh, I can't remember. Go to YouTube tutorials, study the information in the classroom, go anywhere you want and type in what is a thesis statement and study this information, because this is information you were already supposed to know before you took the class. Doesn't mean that everybody doesn't need a little brush up on that, but take time to make sure that you are up to speed on that. The rest of these you can read on your own. There's no textbook for this course. It's fully online. This is the course outline of record, and these are all of our objectives for the course, and you can look those over, and you will see these objectives fulfilled throughout the semester in the assignments. And some of the assignments are very fun and very creative, and you think, oh my gosh, can this be fulfilling a requirement? Well, it is. I've checked it, and it fulfills the requirement that has been asked for. Then those Riverside objectives are combined with Moreno Valley College. I'm scrolling on down and I see the requirements for the course. You're going to go to the Start Here tutorials, which you'll find in the modules, and that's going to get you going. And then here's the grading, and we've already gone over that. I don't need to continue with that. We've already gone over the plagiarism policy and the online writing lab, and this is a reminder and some summary statements about the other aspects of the course. In terms of talking with me, I answer every single email. That said, the problem is that so often I get that other instructor's email. So you can send me a note right on the right through the Canvas and get it to me that way. And I've used this again, reminded you again about that. But you just go straight through Canvas and that'll get to me. If you don't hear from me within 24 hours, don't think I'm ignoring you. You can assume I didn't get it, because I respond to everyone within 24 hours. Maybe it's a little bit longer if it's a holiday or something, but I always get back to students. So don't be offended and think, oh, she doesn't care. Just resend it. I promise you, I answer everybody. Here is a little statement about finding literature online. In one part of the course, I give you a list of choices, and it's important to me that you have choices and that you read things that are interesting to you. So I've given you choices and a little link to get to that free online book, because all the resources on this course are free. You and I would both love to think that those little links always work, but since you are computer savvy and so am I, we know that that's unrealistic. But you can take the title and pop it into Google and find a free ebook. You simply type in, let me show you. So I just went over to Google and typed in free ebook Macbeth, and you can see all of these came up. So in the case that you try one of those links and it doesn't work, just simply take the title, go to Google, type in free ebook, and find a copy of that book there. And I apologize for any links that don't work. As much as I try my best to get all those links to work, we all know how the internet works. So see what you can find with that. There's some information about publishing your work, and some of those do get published, and that's exciting. Here's the essay format. I'm going to pause just 1 second and remind you that if you do not put your word count on your document, you will receive 10 points off of that grade. Why is word count important? For accreditation. Under each school where you attend, a certain number of words are required. I've structured this course so that you will reach that number of words, and you will. But those need to be documented on your essays so that if anything ever happens with your grade, you have proof in your word count on your documents that you did that number of words. In some cases, you will have written like a little essay. Well, we all know that essays are edited and rewritten, and so you would put down your word count for all of the drafts, and then you would put down your final word count, and all those words count. Every word you write counts. Let's make sure you get credit for it. That's the reason for this. Not because I'm a taskmaster, but because I want your grade to be set in stone when you graduate. Below that is a title, and there's a title image that represents the essay. There's more information about that in the classroom. Then there's the essay, 2-space, 12 font, 1-inch margins. That's MLA format. And then your works cited. Now the good news is that I have a wonderful tool in the course that shows you how to instantly create a perfect works cited. So don't be thrown off by that. That's wonderful. This is a flexible syllabus. Some things may change. You will never be asked to submit an assignment early, and you will want to always watch the discussion boards and make sure that your posts are current there. So that about wraps up our tour of the syllabus. I know this was a longer tutorial than I normally make, but I do want to make sure that you understand that participation is so critical to this course. Throughout the semester, I'm going to be posting announcements, and they require, and it'll say something like that, and it'll always have in capital the words required. I know you'll read all announcements, but the announcements that I will track and acknowledge as participation in the class will always say required in all caps. I don't like it yelling, but I want to make sure it stands out. And then you'll be replying to that and making a comment. It's not where you're submitting any long content, but it is a way of continuing our contact with one another so that we're not just only visiting whenever I'm grading your essay. So the announcement board is really important, and your participation in the class, get everything turned in and make sure you get those bonus points. And there may be times throughout the semester that there are little announcements posted with other little offerings of points. So see how that goes and enjoy yourself. This is a really doable class. Thousands of students who have come before you have taken my class and had a wonderful experience, and I know it will be so for you too. Remember, after you've read these initial information and looked over these tutorials, it'll be time to go to the modules and begin with the Start Here module. That concludes this tutorial.